Hello. This is kinda technically my first video, but it's really not supposed to be. I had a better video idea planned out, but this new Blue Lock chapter really changed how I was going to approach my next video. With that, let's get to the new Blue Lock chapter 353 titled Super Dark Horse. The chapter starts off with Nanase saying, "What's with this guy? Teddy Knight. Wait, isn't that the newest member of the new generation World 11? But as Nanase saying this, Teddy dashes for another attack, startling him and Raichi. Doesn't ego get in the way of living? It causes conflicts with others and painful comparisons." As Teddy continues to speak, Raichi has an inner monologue with himself. This guy's dribbling is so irregular, I have no idea what he'll do next. And like I said, Teddy continues to speak, saying, "That's why a worthless puppet like me just isn't suited to live as an egoist. Now, how many of you do I need to get past before you give up?" But as he says this, Isagi and Rin both come out of nowhere, really. Isagi saying, "Hey now, I thought we'd be late, so we came over to see what's up." While Rin says, "Which team's idiot vermin slipped in here?" Isagi continues to speak, "If we steal the ball, will you get out of here?" Rin continues, "We'll play with you, so bring it, you worthless puppet." We then get a panel of Chigri, Ryu, and Nanase, with Ryu and Nanase both respectively saying Isagi, and Nanase saying Rin. Teddy says, "Jolly good it is," as he dashes towards the two double aces, and the two double aces dash towards him. We then see Teddy do what I think is a step over into a left dash forward, passing Rin, where Isagi comes in with Metavision trying to stop him, but he just jumps over that. But then, Rin grabs Teddy by the collar, Teddy saying, "That's not allowed," and Rin saying, "I don't care, dumbass." While he's about to throw Teddy to the floor, he says, "You're tipped as hell." But Teddy grabs Rin's shoulder and then grabs his head, saying, "You egoist are sure barbaric. I never want to be like you." Isagi then says, "What a coincidence, you egoless weirdo," as he steals the ball while Teddy's trying to get it. Bachira says, "Nice, Isagi," while Isagi is saying, "I never want to be like you." Teddy then notices Isagi, saying, "Who are you?" Isagi then responds with, "I'm Blue Lock's Yoichi Isagi." Teddy then says, "I see, Yoichi. So then, without Blue Lock, you'd just be Yoichi Isagi, right?" Isagi responds with confusion, "Huh?" But Teddy doesn't answer him and says, "I'm just a puppet who will die and give England a World Cup victory." Isagi is still confused as Teddy says, I am, see you tomorrow." Raichi's just watching him leave with a lot of shock, and Corona has his hands on his hip staring at him walk away. The Blue Lockers start commenting on the England New Gen 11's appearance at their training room. Chigri says, "What the hell is with that guy?" Atoya saying, "He's a freak," and Ryu saying, "His skills are stylish though." Karasu then says, "We can only stop him by breaking the rules. I bet his dribbling is key to England's strategy." Hiyori then continues saying, "He was seriously unreal. I feel like none of us could stop him one-on-one." Aiku then says, "Okay, just calm down. That was his aim. I bet he came here to plant doubt in our minds." In the next panel, he continues saying, "But the fact that they resorted to this proves England is just that desperate to win." Isagi then chimes in saying, "Yeah, I think so too. If we don't win this, it's all over. Our lives are riding on this, the ultimate battle. But isn't that the situation that helped our egos evolve and get stronger?" We then get a panel of Corona, Chigri, Nico, and Otoya looking at Isagi. Of course France was crazy strong and our individual skills weren't quite up to snuff. Okay, hold on. Who says this? Never in my life have I heard someone say quite up to snuff. But I'm gonna leave it alone. We're gonna keep on reading. But the biggest problem I've been wondering, why did we end up so scattered in the match against France? Was it because we doubted that we could be the world's best like Ego said? In the next panel, Isagi continues saying, "Was that we tricked ourselves into thinking that we were the strongest and the world revolved around us?" Hiyori says, "I think you might be right," with Chigri saying, "We really got popular from Blue Lock TV after all." Right, we were the center of attention among the U20 teams before the World Cup even started. And after that overwhelming victory against Nigeria, we lost our balance. But Japan was never considered a favorite to win. Isagi continues speaking as it shows the Japanese flag over him, Corona, Nanase, Chigiri, and some other players. We're not the birthplace of soccer like England. We're not a soccer superpower like Brazil. He says as it shows 6 flags: England, Spain, Germany, France, Argentina, and Brazil. Our soccer history is fairly brief, and most of that history is yet to be written. Plus, when it comes to all of us gathered here in Blue Lock, none of us were the sort of elite players who could have gone to play overseas. We were a bunch of outcasts and failures who did things our own way. As it shows a panel of Baru on the ground, Chigiri unlocking his speed again, Batra being left behind, Aiku being denied being a striker, I'm pretty sure, and Hiyori when he didn't feel loved. So let's quit fooling ourselves. This team isn't the center of the world. It then shows a panel of chains falling on the floor or coming out of the floor. We came together in an insane place in the corner of the world, and we evolved and twisted fantasism. Fantasisms? Whatever, man. Blue Lock is a super dark horse. For those who don't know what a dark horse is, let me educate you real quick. A dark horse is a team that lacks tournament-winning expectations but has the tactical discipline and generational talent to cause major upsets and make a really deep run into the knockout stages. As of right now in this World Cup, we have Norway, who is making it surprisingly deep into the knockouts. Just recently, they were able to knock out the 5 Cup winners, Brazil. Anyway, back to Blue Lock. We also get to see this cool double spread with the Blue Lock logo with the world somewhat centered in the middle, with the chains that I was talking about clamping on France, Spain, Brazil, Germany, and Portugal. Chigiri says, well, thinking that way definitely gets me fired up. Aiku replies with, gotcha. This team's gotten fragmented, so we need a unified mindset. Isagi says, yeah. With this in mind, we could still have our own visions of the best in the world. As we get to see a panel of Batra smiling. Isagi says, let's dream the same dream, you egoists. As we get a panel saying, time until the England match, 24 hours. To be continued in chapter 354, in the middle of a dream. Now, I really like this chapter. It wasn't too information heavy like people were saying it was, but we did get to see Teddy play more. I do like the information they revealed about the chains and how it relates to somebody's ego. And now looking back on some of the manga covers, you can really see how it relates to their ego, which in my opinion makes it all the more cooler. Something else is we did get to see Teddy play, which made me super happy because we don't really get to see Teddy that much. Okay, Editor Sprout here. I know that we just got introduced to him, so no doubt you wouldn't see him play. That is my bad, I was tired. But I'm hoping for the next chapter we get to see more Kira and Nagi, and really just more of Side B so you get to see more characters like Shindo. Speaking of Shindo, we got a cool manga cover of him. Now, while I'm wondering what this entails about his character, I am liking the use of color in this. The Blue Lock Side B color looks cool as hell, and we get to see our second colored appearance of the away jersey, and we get to see our first ever appearance of the black soccer ball. Anyway, I have no more thoughts on this chapter. Like I said, it was pretty good and I really enjoyed it. If you've even gotten this far and you're enjoying my content, please leave a like and subscribe and I'll get more cool Blue Lock content out to y'all. My next video will either be that video I've been cooking up before this, or it will be the next chapter, so stay tuned for that video. Other than that, have a good day, don't die, and I'll see you next video. Goodbye. So far,